Hi, I'm Gregg Barnes. I'm the costume designer for MINSKYS. MINSKYS is the story of, it's actually based on a true event. The first time a woman actually exposed her breasts on a burlesque stage, which was by mistake. And so this is kind of a fictionalized story of that event. And Billy Minsky was, of course, a real person who ran the most extravagant burlesque houses in New York City in the 20s and the 30s. And this story revolves around him and his love interest. I met the director of MINSKYS, Casey Nicolau, many, many years ago when we were both growing up in San Diego. We were aspiring performers at that time. He, of course, went on to direct. I went on to design costumes. We both moved to New York at different, times and forged our own path. And then we reconnected on a project with Des McAnuff called Sinatra, which was done at Radio City Music Hall. The one that LA audiences will know us both from is The Drowsy Chaperone. When we began the process of the design for MINSKYS, we did a lot of research. I have an amazing big notebook full of research of all of the images from what burlesque really looked like in the 20s. We even went back to the early vaudeville days and then into the 30s when burlesque took many, many different styles and turns. We stayed true to the spirit of that, but it is reconceived for what our modern eye thinks is beautiful. We decided that whenever we're in the burlesque theater, it's a colorful world, and it's a place where you want to be. You feel fortunate would be lucky to inhabit. Outside of that world, when they're in the streets, in the deli, it's a colorless world. The one thing about the costume design that hopefully will make it unique is that the director, Casey Nicolau, wants to make sure that we always keep it light and keep it funny. So it's never just glamour for the sake of glamour. There's a scene, for instance, where they do it's a banana number, and it's a sort of classic burlesque setup. But the women, instead of just coming out in, a sexy Josephine Baker-inspired banana outfit, they have drums on their back and on their front that they play. They play each other's drums. So it's got a sort of flirtatiousness, and it'll be funny, as opposed to just sexy. For me, I think the thing that I would like to see people take away from having been to see MINSKYS is that they've experienced the arc of a story that has all of the elements that make a good evening. It's funny, it's touching, it teaches you a little bit of something, and it's really about relationships and finding your heart and following your heart. So for all of the shenanigans, and it's madcap, and it's got all of that, I think hopefully you'll also will come away with a little tender spot for it as well.